Hello, Mama. It's so exciting. You were thinking about going back to college. That is awesome and super duper overwhelming, right? Where to go to school? How are you going to pay for it? Am I too old for this? It's been 20 years since I've been in college. I getcha. I do. I'm in my 40s. About a year and a half ago, I decided to go back to school. I had a BA. I have a BA. My mom said your education is something that no one can ever take away from you. So I currently hold a BA in communication and I'm going back to school for nursing. So it was switching fields, going from Bachelor of Arts to Bachelor of Science, and it is overwhelming. I really do understand. And so a lot has changed in the last 20 years since we've been students in high school, college, and a lot is done through technology now. So it's very different. So I just wanted to take some time for you to help you get some tips and tricks under your belt a little bit so that you feel empowered to take this on, because it is challenging, very challenging, but it is doable and you can do it. You can do it. Thankfully, I have people in my life that are super encouraging and have kind of walked me through this. And if you don't have anyone walking you through it, I want to help you be that person to just say you can do it. Okay? So without further ado, I do have some just tips to get you started. So number one is you got to figure out what you want to do, and that is a whole video in itself. It's a little bit of soul searching to figure out kind of what you're made for. So once you get that, then come back to this video and we'll keep on going. So basically, let's say that you already decided your field of study. You love math, you always have, or you love science or art or English, whatever it is. You have that. Okay, that's one. Number two is you got to gather your past transcripts. So even if you went to community college and took a couple of Spanish classes, any old transcripts from any college you might have taken in the last number of years, get those together. A lot of them are in digital form now, so it's a little different, but just call each college and start collecting those. If you never did it, don't worry, it's okay. We'll keep walking you through. The next is, for me, obviously I like talking. It's easier for me to just pick up the phone and start talking to people and ask questions. I just try to find the nicest person who is not in a hurry and is willing and able to explain the process to me. So I made something kind of like this. One moment, please. Okay, so oh dear, I just realized it might be backwards, so bear with me. Basically, you want the name of your university, so private university, community college, local community college. These are colleges that you're interested in, you're looking for. And then a contact person, so that really nice person that you talk to on the phone, and maybe their email, just a way to get a hold of them. Next, how much money? Okay, get somebody to be real with you, and they might say, oh, it changes every year. Just get a ballpark. Is it going to be 2 years? That kind of goes with the next question. How long will it take? So is it a 2-year program that's going to cost $20,000? Is it a 1-year program that's going to cost $40,000? And don't freak out about the money. We're going to get there too. But you just need to know your information, okay? Also, when does the program start? So can I start in a week? Can I start? Sometimes they have mid-semester classes that begin, and you can start at kind of funny times, or you can take summer classes. And then when is the application deadline? So if I want to do it, when do I need to get this in? And some schools let you in right away. So that is all good to know. But for me, I just needed it all in one place. It does not have to be fancy. That took me 5 minutes to make it. And so don't get overwhelmed by the details, but you just need to, this is a process of gathering information. So gather it, get it put down. So there's that. The other thing, if you're more of an online girl, then research online. And I did. Once I kind of narrowed it down, I wanted to know. I watched all the videos. I read the testimonials of people who went to that school and how much they loved it. I even looked at a graduation ceremony about their college, just to hear, like, come on, let's be real with me and tell me what this is really like. So I did that. Also, Please make sure whatever college you're interested in, that it is accredited. So it just basically means that if you were to transfer those credits somewhere else, that they would count. So very simple question, but it can have major implications if it's not accredited. Those credits basically aren't worth anything anywhere else. So you might get the certificate, that's great, but if they're not accredited credits, so if you took an English class somewhere and it's an unaccredited university, that English credit, that class will not count at a different university. So please ask that question. Also, if you have time, if it's local, I'm assuming most moms are probably going to go to a local university, or if it's online, it could be an online university. I think Grand Canyon, something, they do online classes. So that's different. But if you're thinking about going to a local school, if you want to be a student that is in seat, if you don't want to be an online student, then please go put your feet on the campus, walk around, look at the posters, go to the library, talk to people, ask if they like the school. Don't feel weird about it. Also, there are tons of people, it is their job to talk to students. So I would talk to somebody in financial aid and get kind of a financial picture of what you're looking at. Ask for ideas on scholarships. Just interview the heck out of everybody. Anybody that will talk to you, just ask them any question you can think of about this process. Another important thing to do is to do a transcript review. For me, this was super important because, for example, I needed a nutrition class for my nursing program. At one community college, you had to have chemistry before you took the nutrition class. At the other community college, you just could take nutrition. So I was like, well, shoot, I'll just take nutrition without taking the chemistry plus nutrition, because I was kind of running out of time before my program would start. So word to the wise, make sure you know what the prerequisites are. That just means what classes you have to take before you take the class. So obviously, if it's English 1 and then you need an English 2, you're going to have to take English 1 first, or English 101. So that's what that is. Also, if they have an orientation for your program, please go to the orientation. Write down a list of questions. I can't emphasize enough, be brave and ask your questions. For me, I went to the orientation. I sat on the front row. I need to wear glasses if I'm looking up at a screen, and so I wanted to see everything. I wanted to have eye contact with the person that was presenting, and I wanted to feel comfortable asking my questions without somebody looking at me weird in the back. I didn't need that. I just wanted to kind of focus on the front and figure out what was going on for me, because I had unusual circumstances. Maybe not that unusual, but I needed to feel comfortable asking my questions. So please feel free. This is your chance. Okay. Also, like I said, my school, the school that I chose allowed me to keep my credits from 20 years ago. Sometimes colleges will have a cutoff where they only will accept credits from the last 5 years. So that is a huge question to ask, to see how old of credits they will accept. So one of my credits, it was a microbiology class, but it was not titled microbiology. We studied microbiology, but it was not labeled as such. And so what I did was I basically had to find my syllabus, which I didn't have in my boxes from my past, from college. I had to go online and look for the college catalog from the 90s and find the syllabus of the course that I took. So I took my transcripts and I looked at that college catalog, and they had to match. So that was a paper catalog at that time, and I had to do a little research and do some emails, and they gave me credit for that class because I could basically prove that I did microbiology in that class. So I hope that is helpful to you. That saved me hours of time and money and redoing a class that I already took. Granted, I didn't remember everything. I'll be honest, I didn't remember everything from that class, but the point was that I had taken it, and I felt like I deserved credit for it. So I kind of kept connecting the dots until it worked out. You can do it too. All right. Also, I mentioned earlier about taking the nutrition class without chemistry, but timing-wise, I ended up having to go to 2 community colleges simultaneously because they offered courses that I needed at different times. And I was working pretty much, I would say 3/4-ish to full time. And so I was doing classes nights and weekends online, and I had to kind of combine my schedule. So that was okay. All I had to do was just get the transcript from Community College A, Community College B, and send it to the university where I go right now. So use that. You're not stuck at one school. You do want to make sure that those credits will transfer. So that's where you got to be a little careful, because it can be a little sticky, but just ask ahead of time. Another great resource for me was called Rate. It's a website, rateyourprofessor.com.org, whatever it is. You can find it, Rate Your Professor. So basically people write in and say, this was the best professor ever. They were so funny, or they were kind, or they explained things well, or the project that they did for this nutrition class was a personal journal of food. And that might be one style of teaching. Another style of teaching might be, well, they explained all the chemistry involved with nutrition. And I'm thinking, chemistry and I are not good friends. So I would much rather apply nutrition to my life in some way, and I like that journal idea. So, and I took that nutrition class and that professor, and it was fabulous. She was it was a good class, and I was able to apply things to my life. If I can apply it to me, then I can help apply it to other people. So I liked that combination. Also CLEP tests, woo! So I have 3 children. I worked with preschoolers for 5 years, and I am fascinated by child development. I think it's great. And so I never took a child development class, but it was required for my program as a nurse. And so I thought, well, if you ask me about what kids do, for example, at what age does a child walk? And so I could tell you that, but I didn't know a lot of the psychology behind it. And so what I did was I went to the library. Well, first I researched this, but there are things called CLEP tests. And so basically you can take a test to pass out of a class. It counts, in this case, it counted for a 3-credit course. So it's hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for this class, or you pay $100, you take the test, and then it's pass fail. And so basically I studied. Anytime I wasn't working, I was studying with books from the library and YouTube videos about psychology. So I was learning about Skinner and Erik Erikson and learning this stuff. And then I went to the university, I took the test. $100 later, I had 3 credits. So it was great. If there's something that you enjoy, you have a feel for it, whether it's, I don't know, American government or math, or maybe chemistry is your thing, science, that kind of thing, you can take those CLEP tests. It's more for the general ed. So that's a resource to you. Just know that that's available. Also, as you're planning your schedule, picking colleges, that kind of thing, you'll need to know if you do you need to work during the day? If you need to work during the day, then you could take courses at night or on the weekends or online. Some people if you're a night owl, then stay up late and take those classes, the pre-recorded classes, do the quizzes, write your papers, that kind of thing, at night. Or if it's the flip, maybe you're a server, you work at a restaurant and you work nights and weekends, then maybe you can go to school during the day. If you have children, if they're in activities after school, then and you want to be there or you need to be there for transportation purposes, do not schedule classes at 3, 4, 5, 6 in the afternoon, because there will always be schedule conflicts. So just keep that in mind as you're planning your schedule, okay? And out of all of this is the key, the most important. It's just think of it as you're gathering information. You're going to process what's going to work for you, what's not, and be open. But the main thing is, please don't have analysis paralysis, where you gather this information or you see that how much money line on that paper and you think, I can't afford that, I can't do that. There are ways to pay for school. There are ways around it, okay? So don't give up, don't freeze, okay? That's the biggest thing. Don't freeze. Don't have analysis paralysis. Don't wait. Time will pass by anyway. If you're 35 and you don't start school until you're 40, then you lost kind of 5 years that you could have had working in a career that you love. And so, not to make you feel guilty or weird about it, that's not my point, but I just want you to know that it's important to get started, even if it's one class at a time. Those 5 years will pass, and you'll either have a few more credits to kind of add to something, or they'll pass and you don't. So don't be afraid. Just kind of get out there. There's tutoring. There are things you can do to kind of move forward with this. So don't be afraid. You got this, Mama, okay? And then another just little piece of advice is, if it feels overwhelming, just do one thing every day. Make one phone call. Get on one website, or order one book for your school, or get on the library website and see what books you could study for CLEP testing. Do some research on what you need to get to the next step, okay? So hang in there. I'll try to keep making these videos because I just feel like I have so much to share with you, and I'm not doing this to get rich or famous. It's not about that. I just want to help the mamas, all right? So take care, take courage, you got this.